Family, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever on a day. And welcome to the program Inside Salon today. Now the Then and Now Media Empire with the broadcast live on Facebook. Me, I'm host and presenter, Mohamed Kamara, commonly known as Supermed. And today, now Saturday, the 20th of March, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, do are the action and I immediately don't begin share this program because what you know, inside the program today, we get Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. I believe say most of the lawyer get the name. This man is a key APC stakeholder, now also an aspirant for the National Organizing Secretary for the APC party. So the man way a day in the know, basically knows what is happening within the party and the political structure in the country as well. Now a philanthropist, a businessman, a religious leader as well. So it's well versatile with the issues of Sierra Leone over the years. So family, when I begin share the program immediately, I'll get plenty people will watch this program live. I think some guests already there with me. Yes. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, are you with me, sir?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me.
Okay, good. Family, I don't allow delay anymore. I see on a city today exactly on time. We tell God thank you for that. We get some few problems over the few weeks back. We don't know what's happened to Facebook page, but we tell God thank you. Now everything looks stable, and we're in place. So I want to all join me. Fans them, Sierra Leoneans them, APC supporters them, sympathizers them, members them. For now, welcome this outstanding gentleman, when Mr. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, you welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for doing a very, very fantastic job for our people and more importantly for our party.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And we're very grateful for getting you on the platform, for letting you take your time off your busy schedule, for come explain to us some key things that really happen within the APC party and the country in general. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, people don't really hear your account where they give in relation to the recent court case them where the APC party they get, and people find them very, very intriguing. I must commend you because you give a real good account, where even with the lay people who not sabi law, we don't understand we say waiting they happen at the court and we say the case then up. So grateful to you for that accurate information they give you. But going forward, Ahmed Sesay, we don't see APC they seem for they get court case after court case, and as a key stakeholder and also an aspirant for the National Organizing Secretary for the party supporters them, members them, sympathizers them, and Sierra Leoneans in general, they're all kind of confused and worried. Say, let lawsuits after lawsuits here. So if the party go there in good footing, going forward for prepare themselves for the 2023 presidential election, what's your general assessment of all NTS, sir?
Well, yes, they have a genuine reason for be worried, because considering the amount of preparation we elections need, especially where you do opposition, and considering the government's way we deal with, then democratic credentials, you forget a party where they in opposition party, the biggest opposition party, you forget everything under the radar ready, you forget your house in readiness because the elections don't begin. 2 years is a very limited time where you want to prepare for elections, considering say we for updates the voter register, considering say we for think about delimitation because they want to conduct census and we don't know whether there will be a delimitation. So we for focus there where if this time where we for focus in putting the party together, we get litigations. Yes, the public, the membership of the APC get every reason for be worried. But again, one will argue that perhaps this litigation is good radiance because it might just put an end to all future litigations or pending litigations.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Again, it's very important because this particular litigation, you don't give an account of what's in the happen at the court. Once again, let you give probably for people who will not be doing the accounts, they make it tell what side the party they right now in relation to this case with Mr. Alfred Conte, when as somebody, now the chief litigant all the way in the United States, will take the party and basically the party executive, including even PPRC as well as defendants in a court. So what's now the latest development? What's in how the case is up right now, sir?
Well, so far we've been in a court on the 17th. We've been in a court following an adjournment where then be make inter alia. Just for okay, the level. Let me just begin. If people can remember, just the eve of when then take the NRM litigation being strike them out of court. A certain Alfred P. Conte, this is now for the benefit of the audience, I just put them to speed. One Alfred P. Conte, when a member of the APC in the United States, take we to court. It may make a couple of reasons why it take we in a court. One, he say let the court declare the current executive illegitimate, say they're not legal at all. Then two, he say every executive from all the regions, from national to regional, all for resigns. Then three, they appear say for uphold the democratic party principles of the APC. And then he also asks for the fourth defendants, the PPRC, take a key leading role for reform this democracy. And then we also asked for the drafters of the 1995 Constitution for take leading role in ushering in this democracy, plus a host of all other things that we take to court. So the first hearing, we challenge the hearing, say, so he seek for an ex parte injunction. An ex parte injunction, like we na injunction where the court go put and hold of whatever on the effect for say na no eating una hold on for swallow can hearing. So this ex parte injunction, the first hearing, now we go attack say it ought not to have been granted because with this alone, the basis for all ex parte injunction are real urgency. There has to be an urgency before they grant an ex parte injunction. Okay. So if you want grant in the UK, if you want to apply for an ex parte injunction, you get for actually show real urgency why the other party not for the at the court way they give, because ex parte mean this person way will get this blabber. By the time they send call a mechanic court, waiting it is seek for exhibit, he go to execute, and so my lord, please una grant and for me now, let time no delay. So people then consider say, but wait a minute. The APC just don't pull a press release, say every convention has been put on hold until further notice. They don't even put a date. Where is the real urgency? Now that we go attack na courts first. But wait a minute. There is no urgency for an ex parte where every defendant from 1 to number 4 they within the jurisdiction. Then they within salon. So we say they're not for grant. And then secondly, we also ask, say, okay, if this man will don't grant an ex parte injunction and an interim injunction lasts for only 1 week, if we now want further that injunction, we now get for apply for an interlocutory injunction. So we say, if these people want for let this action go through, we have we get two sorts of funding. We get party contributions and we get membership, aspirants contribution, or get membership contribution for fund we convention. So with all this, there are costs involved. So if this man want bring win a court, let's bring 10 billion, Leon say, okay, in case this action fail, the damage where APC get for Sunni, I get this money for cover those damage, and then call cost. So now then thing and the one we apply for. They adjourn the second week where we go. Then the court say, well, he get right for getting injunction because the real urgency exists. It gets illegal. The Honorable Justice Adrian Fisher justify them legally. But we, as I say, until there is an appellate route as lawyers, our obligation is to the court. So we get right for respect court ruling. But again, we opinion self-invalid. So we self-worried, say, but wait a minute. Then when we go back the following week, we apply, say, okay, naturally the injunction done 1 week. The law say It's a rule, 1 week. So waiting they happen. He say, well, he go hold the injunction first. I say, but naturally, this injunction, they elapse. Not to you for lift and when they say something elapse, he prorogue. Naturally, for die. He say, no, they lift them back for another Wednesday. So we adjourn for 5 days. We go, he say, well, actually, he no go lift the injunction, he no already the argument, he no go lift the injunction, but he go vary, I go push and force. Okay. So we self-apply for a motion because how court case they work, before we go to the court in merit, begin argue, you they look first because the court get rules. When you want file, wait you for follow. How you for make you document for file? You for dot every I, you address them, you stamp them, the registrar, you do every procedure, you know. We look at the motion we file, follow lots of these procedures we supposed for doing a court. You know, like go there and say, "Lord, do something quick." And ideally, the court supposed for throw the matter, even though the overriding objective of the court is to arrive at equitable justice. So then can forget, then can for let them not impede justice, then can set a blind eye on procedure. Let procedure not outweigh the actual grievance of the client, of the party. So the court rely on that, say, so that was the motion. So then self put a counter motion. So all NTR, we say, so we don't pass that stage date. So on the 17th, the court say, now true, this man no make mistake by the motion, if whatever happened, and that's not means I for throw away the case. So we now go prepare the argument. So we don't done the injunction, he say not the lift time. We don't done the motion, we don't send the motion based on all the NTR. Then the other party argue back, say, this man come with a case, say, in personal interest, that is, according to in prayers, number 7 to 13, he say in personal interest has been affected. Now, it very importantly, family know the legal dichotomy here. Waiting the litigants do, by right, if it is a political dispute, if it's classed as a political dispute, it no get right for go court. Section 6 of the PPRC Act 2002 give PPRC mandate for mediate disputes arising within political parties. So we argue, say, if this guy is a member, there is a dispute arising within political parties, it's supposed to go PPRC. But the court say no, the man say in personal interest also. And he say in contribution way in the pay, don't qualify him for register personal interest. Okay, so the judge say, well, actually, if we're looking at the Sylvia Blyden case, when he take President Madabio to court, when he contest when after the elections, he petitioned the elections, the case went up to Supreme Court. One of his bases now that as a registered voter. So the court, the judge jokingly say, well, if Sylvia Blyden has a locus, why not this litigant? So in other words, everything will throw at the court no stick. We argue, say this man in personal interest, in fact, he has no reason to drag Usman Fode and Sane into this matter if it's actually his personal interest, because Usman Fode and Sane in his own as an individual not represent the APC if he prefer personal interest. You understand? So the court say, well, as a Secretary General, he don't be an interested party. So everything will thrown at the courts. So who say we did now, we don't actually cross all these things waiting for make them throw the case in a court. We're not able. So now the courts don't give it direction. See, on the 27th, let all man go making argument. Why, if for let all man making argument, then call a merit argument, the real case now. You know, we don't try let them to go with the case and able. You say let we make skeleton argument. In other words, by the motion we then file, we're not supposed for go out. We're not supposed for this man not get right because of this self-defiling argument. So the 27th, now that's by this Monday or Tuesday for exchange bundles. In other words, every evidence where you get, that's the court direction give you. So now so we did now. So they go to the main argument right now by Monday for confirm whether this man get case. So waiting the court can do in these circumstances. By Monday, once you argue, they adjourn. But waiting very important way members and for know, during the motion, presenting the motion and the other applicants, the plaintiff stroke respondents, where they present the argument, the judge, the Honorable Justice Adrian Fisher, came up with a very key point. He tell the litigant in lawyer, Alfred P. Conte in lawyer, he said, but your client say he wanted democracy. He wanted a new constitution. He wants an interim third party involved, i.e. PPRC, i.e. other members of the party. He said, if we vary the order, we then say variation order. In other words, what you ask for in a court, the courts, they go outside and expand and small, make it easier for both parties. He said, if we vary the order, we adjourn this court, we allow the APC for go see to some of the prayers them on emotion number 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12, we all geared towards democracy. If they go usher in a new constitution only, he said, will that suffice? You go able to stop the action, you go happy? And the lawyer say, well, okay, first you need a copy of that constitution, lay perusa. So we serve her, we disclose. So from that point, he say, well, actually, let us see how best himself go able look am, and then, but he cautiously agrees, say, yes, if the court deems, say, a variation order, go bring in a new constitution. So we expect a ruling on that on the 27th.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. You don't give a good, clear account of waiting on pass between the two sides. So far, so good. And first of all, I want to tell all man at the platform, say, please, now continue for share. And I want to welcome you all. Without any of the platform, now just say hi to some people. Sesay, Mayatu Kamara, Dorita Loari, and Elaine Matthews, Zenab Sharif Bangura, the brother Owen Kus, and so many others. Now the platform are all welcome. And again, we pray with our Lord will share, because moreover, for APC supporters and members then, I go find for me and witness this particular interview, because the person who get us today, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, diligently, they explain to we waiting on pass, waiting they happen, and it taking time for them to understand them in detail. Like what I said, Mrs. Ono legal business that much, I don't get all the nitty-gritty of all what you will transpire by this case here. So it's really important for APC's party members and supporters them, and Sierra Leoneans in general, because Sierra Leoneans want to say democracy prevail in our country. And for that democracy prevail, the main opposition party for able do the thing they want for keep them as a main opposition party. So I believe Sierra Leoneans in general go and witness this particular very important interview. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay.
Yes.
Many people, APC supporters and members them, na social media, kind of like what you say no more, before say this case not get better merits. Then we say lawyer and the Justice Adrian Fisher for not to weigh this case na court. And then many of them are disappointed how this case just go no more. Then even the intimate injunction has been extended and they don't uphold the injunction there. So they're not to get confidence by the legal system that the country, they say, and they're not going to get political interference. So I want to outline for what are the possible outcome in case even if the party not win the arguments, what will be the possible outcome for the APC party for this case here, so?
Okay, yes, brilliant question. In fact, this is the basis of our argument. If the public feels say the courts for don't throw away this case, yes, they may be right, because let me tell you, we have sent that argument before. They argue, say, in 2005, there was a precedent, a case where Chief Inga Norman case, okay? Chief Inga Norman bring the APC, SLPP in Patina court, they challenge the leadership of in party. So the court throw away the case on the basis, say, well, you know, one grand person where they bring this case, you not get an interest on the ongoing process in which you seek to injunct. He says, so they throw away this case because you not get basis. So the arguments where the APC lawyer themselves they profane now that precedent for apply upon this case, because this man, where they bring this case to, for stop the convention, he no get no interest for participate in the convention. He no get no interest for participate in the process where they seek for injunct. So because, and two, in an ordinary member of the party, not to executive. So that precedent where them in Ganoman, say let them throw in case, then for them throw away this case too. So people then feel say the reason why they're not throw away, maybe that is the court. It's not my opinion. The people then feel say the court is overly subservient to the regime, the current regime. I make them not throw away. Therefore, if there is any dispute on, if there is any unsettlement within the APC ranks, will give an undue advantage to the SLPP. That is the public opinion. It's not my opinion anyway. So yes, then get right. So you ask me what you will get for be the outcome. You see, in most cases, they look. In fact, the deputy chairman and leader of the party, Honorable Minkailu Mansare, said this. He said, based on the experience in this party and the experience in bringing, grievance parties bring APC in a court, he always like for law prepare for crash landing. Worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, as you ask me, will be the court will say, okay, I go answer all them prayers. In other words, the chairman and the deputy chairman and all the executive for resign. That's the worst case scenario. Two, he go answer them prayer with them pray say, let this fourth defendant win a PPRC conduct the affairs of the APC. Three, he go answer them prayer we say, let the authors of the 95 Constitution take a leading role. So now say now the worst prayers and they want then now the worst thing that they way the court get for answer. Now let's come to the first one. The problem with the first prayer, if they say the chairman and deputy chairman for resign, the court go down contradict itself. Because in 2002, we had a case, in 2005, we get a case where we own political party members, can we go to court challenging the 1995 APC party constitution. And the Supreme Court rules say the APC 1995 constitution is the ground norm of the party. It prefer over all other constitution, the 85 constitution. So the Supreme Court recognized this instrument. Two, the 2002 PPRC Act, Political Party Registration Act, recognized this constitution. And then before the 2017 selection, we own constitution give mandate, the APC constitution give mandate for select and elect the chairman. But all other areas must be elected. I want to let the public note that. All other positions must be elected. But because of the Ebola, we wrote to PPRC say, we can, the APC say they cannot hold convention under normal circumstances. And the PPRC, in their capacity for regulate political party, give an assent to that. And it was duly gazetted. So one will argue, say, okay, if even that's done, you cannot have the chairman and deputy chairman for resign. Some people, the argument, okay? Now, let's go to the second prayer back where you say, where then if they say they want the PPRC for to pretend the affairs of the APC. The worst case scenario in that, how could you, PPRC, first of all, recently wrote us a letter of which I challenge vehemently. They say, when they lift the convention, when they throw away the case in a court, I think we ask clearance for go, we notify them for go hold a convention, an emergency convention, that before they throw away the case in a court, for go hold emergency convention, PPRC wrote us a letter that, sorry, you cannot hold this convention because you are currently under injunction. And he did this in consultation with the Chief Justice. I took offense in that. And that, I just want to go show you, see, how neutral is the PPRC in this case. Okay, where the litigants want to let them to pretend. Perhaps he may not know that this party where want to give ref in biasness. When PPRC wrote us that letter, I said, listen, this is a court. The court rules say the APC should not hold any activities that is adverse to the interest of the plaintiff, that is the NRM, during that term. Okay, so it is the court, within the court for interpret in their own, by their own definition, waiting activities averse to the interest. How will you say that a document that both the plaintiff, the NRM, and the APC participated in constructing, that is the Constitution, and agree and produce a memorandum of understanding, and one executes that memorandum of understanding, how now can you come up and write a letter, say it is averse to the interest of the plaintiff? So me personally feel, say, then do that for stifle the progress of the APC, because we are not specifically injuncted from holding a convention. They said activities averse to the interest of the plaintiff, and they already participated in this document. So they were in magnanimity. So that's one. So that alone, it goes to biasness. Now, if you now want to now for council pretend we elections, then get for member for say whether they go able to, and two, they do not have the logistic capacity for conduct 132 constituencies, almost 400, almost 1,000 and something wards, executive, and then we get constituency executive na 993 when you take 8 from each constituency, and then you get 170 veterans elections, and then you get 154 women's league. You know that every constituency gets a women leader. The youth league then go for consult there. So do they have the money, the resources for conduct, for to pretend that it is? I'm afraid no. And then the third and final one, they ask that let the custodian or the one that we give asset to the 95 Constitution take leading role. There is only one living person right now, that's Victor Fo. Victor Fo don't make utterances say he has resigned from active politicking in the APC. So how could you now say you want that man for come back na the APC and he don't take active role in the SLPP right now, helping them campaigning against us, which can be construed as anti-party activities. You understand? So now all the three things the way the litigants then ask for, worst case scenario, not gonna make a better APC. So that's the worst case scenario.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. We don't give that good clarification, because many people are confused because they will see the end of this particular case and they not to get confidence by the legal system. These are APC supporters, the way they discuss on social media, the different comments. But again, I think say the APC party, it's in general, they hope for the better. Hopefully, something good will come out of this, because other people, they ask, well, is it possible out of court settlement? Other people, they say, well, if that happen again, another case could just arise, and this could just be a perpetual cycle. And you be advised, say, probably it's better let the courts take decisions, so that once that decision on there, you don't set a precedent for other people coming later. But what I want to divert a little bit. I want to now focus into the APC party in itself. Many people get grievances when a party members them, more like potential aspirants them, where one go for the party flagbearership for the 2023 presidential elections. We don't see many people from the support-based system. They're kind of very jittery with the system. Would you already wait on the new constitution they don't draft, with your own legal mind and everything what you don't see? You set an aspirant for national organizing secretary for the party. You get confidence, say the new constitution they don't set, if they adopt them, there will be free and fair election for everybody. We want contest, and they go get a result where people will satisfy, say yes, this is what the vote way I get, and this is the outcome when I believe in a fair and clear outcome. What's your assessment of that particular makeup in terms of them potential flag bearer aspirants, even national executive aspirants, constituency aspirants, so on and so forth?
The new draft constitution, to me personally, believes in the way forward, and it's a brilliant document. Anytime I get the opportunity for give credit to the drafters, I will do that. It's a very fantastic document. I like them. But the only problem where people and the genuine concerns, now that whether we go able to implement them, considering waiting they go on at the party right now. And some people then, we have an internal combustion, keg we want explode, we get for explode, we don't get nothing for do with the case. The new constitution, the draft constitution as a document, it's not perfect, but you get 2-3 flaws where people and they concern. But moving forward, personally, in one of the last commentary I do, I say to me personally, the way forward na the MOU. Why I say that the memorandum of understanding we then signed between the APC and the NRM, if this case proceed, if the court give it order, except if they go further as to who can superintend the election. But if the court give it order, say, okay, fine, I'm going to dissolve this executive, maybe the chairman and the vice chairman will stay. Worst case scenario, everybody can go. Then he further give it order for let the interim where they already don't set. Now Article 87, now we new draft constitution for kicking and superintend these elections. That's going to be a way forward, because the concern where people then get now that the current secretariat, where they right now, they are part of the election. They also want to aspire. So if you go make this current secretariat constitute a delegate list, and knowing my time at the APC, every time we get elections convention, we refer to over delegate list. And they tell you, when I mark me words, first get for common under, would I eligible, would I not eligible. So if you go make people that are contesting prepare, already there are cries in the party secretariat say, are they carrying me party card? Some people then say they know they sign them, then they choose who in card for sign as a delegate. So there is a looming problem. So me feel say, one thing I feel say the new constitution bring now the transitional clause 87F. If you have the new draft constitution, go to 87F. It give the power for we form the NR 15 from the NRM, 10 from the APC for make a interim transitional elections monitoring group, a committee, where they can start the moment where we come up with local, we go adopt a new constitution. From that point now then they take over the composition of the new delegate list, printing ballot boxes, travel overseas, conduct elections, because they are outside.
I just want to interject for that side, because I remember say, well, after they don't adopt the new constitution, the current delegates, them more than they, when are from the constituency delegates, those are the same delegates they get for day, or automatically there is going to be a process for make elections for to ever get first the delegates them from the constituency level. Is that not the case?
No. There's two ways. Let's assume all things remains equal. If all things remains equal, the party will dissolve every delegate after we don't have to adopt a new constitution. If the court so decides to let everything dissolve, and then everybody don't cease, you understand? But now, that brings the question: can the diaspora under the 95 constitution cease to operate? Because the diaspora, they operate by accreditation. Sure. And this is the argument that we hope to profile on the 27th as well, saying that the 1995 constitution no make provision for the 6th region and for diaspora. So everybody politicking in diaspora, including Alfred Peter Conte, the question now looms whether the 1995 GAM locus, do you understand? Because you are not technically an organ of the party. Unlike the local, the NRM, we claim they were a member of the Youth League, we're a party in the 95 constitution. The diaspora operate in isolation. Over here, if they want to do any business, they want to open an account, they have to register within their own jurisdictions. Okay? So now, I come back to your question briefly. If then dissolve before we go to election, every position is presumed dissolved. Every delegate's position presumed dissolved.
But that is the point where I want to clarify, Ahmed Sesay, because saying that the party want to do all NTR within a short period of time, maybe 5-6 months, I'm thinking about the logistics. You get 132 constituencies then. Forget executive. You say eight executive in each of them constituencies in the.
Yeah.
So how the logistic go turn like? How the party, and considering the fact that we've got a pandemic, when the coronavirus pandemic as well, you know, all of those issues, would the party get the manpower, and how that will affect in terms of unity? Because don't forget those constituency, people have to vie for those positions, and there's got to be competition, campaigning, and so on and so forth. The Uda go begin now the people who go vote, because we have to start somewhere. Uda going go vote for begin elect from the ward, take out to the constituency. Uda going go be the votes. We don't I mean dissolve all the people, all the potential voters, all the potential delegates. So I'm kind of confused here. If you see what's at the camper. So how the system will work?
Now the process they start from ward. Let me just start it from bottom. The process they start from ward executives. Then they elect the ward executive. Without they elect the ward executive, at least 100 members from each ward. So you get like some ward gets 3 constituencies. So you get like 300 eligible voters. Where right now they're supposed to be paid up now by now. And that's how they advise every member win a stakeholder where they inside the ward with the zonal chairman, the ward executive, the other people, and the market woman, the imam. We get how we can do that list there where they vote now the ward. Now then they go vote for the constituency executives. So we they talk say right now they're supposed to be paid up members. Now, normally, if you notice, say previously, we Secretary General issue a press release, we give a timeline of how the elections they go. It starts from, if everything be remain equal, from February ending, you do lower level conventions, ward level, and then March we do constituency, and then April then do diaspora and regional and district, and then May you do wait till they go for national executive, and then together with the flag bearer. So that timeline they been given like a plus or minus 5 months timeline, which could be achieved ideally, because how would they do them? If you see section 87F, the constitution give the one that we then get the mandate, the interim elections management committee, and which where they bring confusion, but I'll clarify that one day, because we get an interim election management committee, and then we get an internal elections management committee in Article 45. But I'll clarify that one day later. So if you see the composition of the interim, then get member from each region, representative from each region, and that region they get represented from each district. So then go scatter themselves, then go get represent, they'll get a team of 50, 60 members by all region, then do them by district level. So those district level, they conduct elections simultaneously, and they give themselves a week. So it could be achieved. That timeline where the Secretary General been give, it was in place. It was able to achieve that 5 months.
Okay, that's great, because we want to make that clarification. They let people really watch. Ladies and gentlemen, again, long try for double the number. I think we don't get over 100 when they watch live. We know say subsequently it will be thousands. Long share, long double the number, because it's more like for APC supporters them. But once for Sierra Leoneans in general, what Lawyer Ahmed Sesay they do now, so they try to explain to we in detail how political party they operate. Because I believe say even the other parties, the operations very much similar. How do they begin get delegates from ward, to constituency? This is a thorough process. Now I make like you say politics and money business, because this all takes money to organize the NTR for income, you know, all of those things in place, and eventually get a national executive. Not so easy thing at all. I mean, sometimes I know people cry those people who they organize and take it down, but sometimes they'll go for give them some small credit, because this is very, very challenging. We think there are time scale where they get for do all NTR. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue for sure. Then I also want to say, yesterday we get a remarkable interview as well with the Africanist Press editor, Mr. Chernoba. And then our YouTube page, guys, I'm going to then on our YouTube page, the interview there, I'm going to watch them live. It was very, very interesting, fascinating as well. Just like what you get so today, and also with Lawyer Ahmed Sesay as well, where they give you detailed information about political process now the APC party. And I believe say people are kind of really, really tuned and listen in detail, because sometimes what we not is evidence here, so we can already don't cry the system even before the system starts. But I think say I hope for the good of democracy in our country, let the opposition able succeed for do this. The main opposition party, men able succeed for all the convention here, so many process go able go forward. But like on this same trajectory, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, you say some na candidates for national organizing secretary for the party. So far, so good. You are happy with the system, a part of the court case. Are you, sir?
To some extent, yes. I'm happy with the system because, as I say, this constitution we come so it bring in inclusiveness. When you look to the 1963 constitution, the very first constitution of the APC, the main objective of forming this party now for address issues of socialist issues of the poor grassroots and for bring people them we not to get better education, we not to get into mainstream governance, use as a conduit for let people involved in governing their affairs of the state, regardless, irrespective of your educational background and everything. So yes, the preamble addressed that issue. So expanding this constitution for include now, we get a diaspora as a recognized region, and now we get the old people veteran as a recognized wing. Then we get the younger one, we a National Union of APC students officially recognized, which is very important, and match them with the youth wing. And then you get the other affiliate groups them for even the media team is now part of us. We have a media official media organ of the party unit. Then we get information, communication, and technology unit. And then we get a policy and research unit. So the new document bring in. But my own main concern that some of the flaws them with issues where we need clarify. I will not say flaws. It just need for clarify them because not so for now. Now we don't say we have the interim elections monitoring committee as a transitional body for conducting elections there, for giving mandate say to the 3 years. Okay. So now, but the only problem where at the gate, now the conflicts will arise between article the first one are the Flagbearer, Article 61A. And if you note that down and you see the draft constitution, you go, perhaps you go, people then go educate me on that. Article 61A, because this one whole thing, you get for end pan flag bearer, and then go be the mama pan the fet. So if we get a constitution, we get small bots pan flag bearer. Let us address it as we go, because you know the constitution. Sometimes we can get some people and they say if you know clarify when they do statutory interpretation in law, the words then literally out then they in the courts they look. 61A, they say that the election of presidential candidate, he say the presidential candidate shall be elected by the delegates present and voting at the National Delegates Conference. Delegates present and voting. Now, if you just say delegates present and voting, you know, if, for instance, the last 2002 convention where we get, we then take winner court, because of the war, we're not able to get delegates all sides. So wait till they say 20 delegates from each district. So we have like 540 delegates to put lock off or go elect, make the election, who side they elect and Escoma. Now, recently back, because of the COVID-19 rules, the party decides, say, let we hold the emergency convention, but will they get 30, only 30 from each district? So what if the same precedent, well done enough for only go adopt the convention? But because it's a precedent, what if the turn back for go hold flag bearer elections, they say only 30 from each district? Now, ideally, the districts they compose of waiting every constituency. Let's say like Poloko, we get 10 constituencies. That 10 constituency they now 8 per constituency. So we get 80. And then we get the district, the district executive, when I like 15. So we get 95. So if they say 30 per district, then if me go put local, then I notice say Poloko Central, Now my stronghold. I don't get 8. And then Mangebure, now my other stronghold, I don't get 16. And then I look before the chairman, then I jump a canto. Anybody who are with, for I just get the 30 number. Then I put Senamutka, go McKinney, say, I don't bring me 30 from the district. I don't know now, say this 30, Panitan constituency, I just bring 2 constituency plus the district. And then that will be a looming. So my point, my advice is, let it be specific in the constitution, say, minimum, it has to include, delegates must include a minimum number per constituency. In other words, there should be a quorum. Because waiting to this FET being up in 2002 with one corner per acre. Then I've been the Secretary General, 9 composed the delegate list of those 20. Then been challenge we on that. Let's say Kamal say not fair because that limited number make them cherry pick. So let we not left this other area vague. Okay.
Yes, I'll just interject quickly. I believe what you say so. And because obviously the party will also take into consideration, say, this COVID-19 corona pandemic could continue. We don't know what's going to happen. Yes. And we're not going to say, we know what's going to happen. What about, have they ever thought about doing it, use digital means for doing? But that again, would the delegates get the capacity for able to do them through digital means? These are all major problems. I understand what you're trying to say is that if not 10 constituency, if they want 20 people, no more, then for make sure each constituency they take 2.
Thank you.
Okay, but who are the 2 then go take? Will it be the chairman and the chair lady? All that has to be specified.
Thank you. Good question. It has to be default position. Well, now we problem who they accredit delegate. A delegate's position, well, now in this constitution don't address. Delegate positions must be default position, not to meet and the target. If they say now the organizing secretary, if you know they're in deputy, simple. But we don't see where they say 5 delegates. Some man they jump, like we get boku complaints. Some man they say, "Bo, how una can't jump me, una go take me subordinate." You understand? So it get for be like how you say a constituency chairman and a deputy plus the women's leader, 3 per constituency, minimum 3. At all cases, there has to be minimum 3 from the constituency. The women's leader, the constituency chairman, or maybe the constituency chairman, the women's leader, and the youth leader. So you get a balance from the gender balance, you get an age balance.
Okay, so thank you. I think say this is also a part of what's in the potential flag bearers them. We'll get for discuss among themselves with the party secretariat, with the election management committee. They go agree well beforehand, because it will be a much better really for make clear all the 8 people now the constituency made them all go vote. That will be more democratic. But again, with this pandemic, we don't know how you get for end, or maybe they get for lengthen the process. Make sure say if this 10 constituency can vote today, tomorrow another different 10 constituency can vote. Maybe just for space the people them out, so that these are all things I think say the party will negotiate, or the potential candidates and will negotiate among themselves. But one thing again, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay want to ask, one prominent somebody where many people like argue on social media. Now, Chief Alhaji Samsumana, I'm be former vice president. We not say the party NAC, we don't say that they take them back in at the party, pending a national delegate conference for approve a membership come back, for they come back to the party. Now, waiting at the standing of that particular thing, that means say it's still awaiting national delegate conference for me that membership they confirmed, or is it going to be a potential Flagbearer candidate himself? You get any updates on that side in terms of Chief Alhaji Samsumana?
Well, the status quo, let me just tell you guys the status quo. The status quo is that in February, before the end of the year, the party make a decision, say not to just him, all other people that we wish for come back, the door open. So subsequently, Alhaji Chief Samsumana write a letter expressing the interest for comeback. So NAC bin get 2 meetings. First, they acknowledge the letter, and secondly, then say if they make a decision, say if for comeback, they make a decision, say if they come back and then the decision is final, and then unconditional, sorry, and then subject to the due process. When they say unconditional, no need for prove anything, subject to the due process. The due process means if the decision has been taken by a national delegate conference, it has to be confirmed. So the national delegate conference usually, for just move resolution motion, say this is what we've done, and inform the public, say this is what the region representative them been take a decision. So now just subject to the due process. So when in come, then it's up to him for see whether he's going to opt for the flag bearer of the party.
And that's why I'm going to ask more, because what are the, I believe say the particular criteria when they set for potential flag bearer aspirants, or there are no criteria, anything there by the constitution, they say, okay, you get for be, like for instance, you get for pay a paid up member, you get for get some certain years now the party, or you get for get, is there any criteria where the party set?
Well, the criteria we then set for, aspiring for flag bearer, you get for 5-year payment, consecutive payment for 5 years. Okay. Now, with the issue with Chief Samsumana and restitution, when they say they don't restore you to your original position, meaning parties are restored in the position that they were before the dispute. You understand? That it's not like when you left the party on your own volition and contest against the party and wish for comeback. When you come back, then they enlist you back into the party. But when the party make a decision for suspend you and rescind that decision, you're going to be restored in the position that you were before the dispute. That is one thing where I want to let people get clear. A restitution means then they put you in a position as if there were no dispute. Okay, not to like when they left the party and come back. Now you get for pay 5 years. So if in day you get for pay, so if you come, like if anybody were missing payments where you come, for make sure say you're paid up member for up to 5 years. You understand? So, but wait till they try for say, me now one strong advocate for every member of the party na the APC for take part. Politics na numbers. A lot of people can feel say, and other politics they are one that we left for the APC. Me na possibly they aspire for national organizing secretary, and they try for make sure say everybody in interest a carrier, every flag bearer in interest a carrier, make sure say everybody is well represented. I no use for marginalize. I no feel say when I marginalize me opponent will give me advantage. If the opponents they come in, they bring numbers, let him come on board. If me strong enough, you know, I know say me a stronger candidate, I'd encourage everybody for come on board as long as they bring numbers to the table.
Okay.
But oppressive.
Okay, so on that point, I think it's a very, very good advice you don't give so. And I believe say this tribulations national delegate conference, let it be only the delegates. Because because of the pandemic, the waiting and social distancing, you are letting supporters they not go because let people understand the delegates. National Delegate Conference is for delegates, isn't it?
Then you know, APC convention, an occasion, na concert, na outing, na picnic, na everything. Then anybody will tell you say the reason why people then can vex when they can say when we can get convention in council, it's like when they say outing tomorrow, people then don't make them cold man, they don't cook them food. Then APC convention, the ambience force, the build up. For the convention. No, but the type
of this Ahmed Sesay under this current restriction, it's not
covered. Well, that is the problem.
That's why they go bring country party say, well,
it will have been prudent. That is a brilliant advice. That will have been very prudent had it not been that the ruling party don't set a dangerous precedent. Because they say the convention they go on, and when they serve together, my goodness, you want to see population, you see everything upside down. Exactly. So you're not going to marginalize your supporter them when they own Nabo or on the side with them together. You understand? They tell you supporter them for stay at home. You know.
Okay. Well, I think that don't be a precedent because everybody said we for follow the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. We don't talk about this segment in detail about the APC party and how things they go on. But again, last year I want church by the APC party. Since APC don't go in opposition, you don't see they don't get plenty by-elections in. One of the prominent one at 110 when they will retain that seat there with Honorable Kadi Davis. But we don't see other one back when they get set back like the Southeast, say recently na Cambia district as well. So what's your own assessment? Who's the party day? What's the by election that tell you about the party position at the moment?
Okay, let's get the record straight. As far as electioneering is concerned in the APC, me go say I'm one of the leading authority. Why? Because all the elections I don't go neck for APC, okay? I know the demographics, I know the election trends. Anybody will base assumption on, including ourselves, also in the APC, anybody will base an assumption or in focus on by elections, they always get them wrong. Always get them wrong, because one, the turnover, the turnout can be so appalling, it's so small that you cannot effectively base your focus on that. Okay, the motivation within a general elections, you know, half safe in by election. So that's not one. But do we have reason to worry in the APC? Yes, we have a genuine reason for worry. Take, for example, these past elections we go on Cambia. So these elections, the seats were vacant, not being seat. Okay, SLPP then come, then vote, then win them. Okay. Now, the zest we then get for make a statement now the north, perhaps we not get them. The money where the SLPP they pour in for then small constituencies, yeah, we not get her. But when the elections come, all the people away go. Then in just one word, okay? All the people away go. You get one constituency, you get over almost 20-something word that can be. So just the word. Then you get the constituencies, they're up to 6 constituencies. So if you go stretch yourself that thin in the general elections, we no go. You see, I always say this 2023 elections is ours to lose. Why? Because the government, the performance in everything, I don't even want to challenge them on their manifesto. That is why the last time I get
an that's the next segment, Ahmed Sesay for campaign.
Yes, but if there's anything to go by, we get for worry. But the key positions them we get, like Western area, we don't secure. And I've been there Kaila for go help them at the elections day. I see the trend of people, I see the amount of people that will come out for the APC. I see our numbers increasing equally in Kaila. So, but not forget, we always get a target in the Southeast, that 220 to 250,000 per each elections, all the target. So if we see with numbers and they increase, the last elections now, we get for 800 and something. One particular polling center, we now then 47 will be negated. We get 187. You understand? So the trend gradually, I don't know if now resentments and the show, now protest votes, but yes, the trend will for worry, because it goes to show that we get for unify. If that is, I mean, more important, like Cambia of Ubingo as a unit, because we very few way go. In fact, not just maybe in the one day before, but the possibly prominent all will be in the day now by Mahmoud. And in one grain with the little resources he gets, you're not able.
It's gonna be very challenging.
If anybody been go hands on deck and put like what you do now 110, we'll be able to succeed. So this is a lesson for the party. And say next year we get them by election. If we really want to win, we'll get for go as a unit and put all hands on deck, you know.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. Ladies and gentlemen, at the chat room today, we'll get Lawyer Ahmed Sesay when aspirant for National Organizing Secretary for the APC party, as well as a key stakeholder at the APC party. So we'll get them today, and we don't really enlighten, we don't explain to we plenty team name in relation to APC party. So they can turn out to the next segment where they look at this current administration, and that are the next segment of the interview. So I want to now comments all and welcome, because I've already get plenty comments and where we will try for look at as we go along. You know, because as we always say, this platform, now platform for all Sierra Leoneans, views and comments are always welcome. And we get people at this platform who are very respectful. We always can agree for disagree peacefully, which is very, very good. That will set a precedent for other Sierra Leoneans. I mean, I know say yes, not to alter when I get for agree. So tell me, they agree, but when they agree for disagree peacefully, that is fine. And so multiple different opinions and get for the. So we tell and thank you for that. And me really present all this program. So me and Mohammed Kamara, but most people they call me Supermed. So Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, the next segment of this interview, we'll look at this current administration. What's now your assessment of this current administration as a London governance for nearly 3 years? What's now your assessment in relation to the manifesto, in relation to whatever developments, economically, socially, politically? What's now your assessment?
Well, you see, me, I can always like for argue evidence-based. When I look at the MDC parameters, the Millennium Challenge parameters, where then Gladys say they don't grant, I just look how they struggle. It took them 3 years for even cross some of the key areas them in governance for make them able to go through. Now, if we go with the parameters of the MDC, we they look at the justice area. How best them people they have feel say the justice they go through is they are just like what you say, the judiciary. How best you feel say the health sector don't progress. How best you feel say they handle the economy. How best you feel say, if you do an opinion poll based on them 5 key areas here, the result will be very open. Not take me word for that. And me own politics, not so for just come on social media and can begin to talk things and we not get basis. If you look at the economy, which are we did today, the policy of this government in economy, the economic policies are failing, and they fail for accept that. Now let's take for instance, throughout last week, right now, money not in a central bank, cash, fiscal cash not in a central bank. You cannot dispense, and we know to win a cash-based economy. Okay, so how you go explain that? Not to because of they not print money, where some man say, no. Now the policies of the bank governor and the government, no one accepts it. The bank governor is not doing good. And yet they even award the finance minister, best minister, when there is no money in the coffers. Okay, take for example, then get what they call this for garnish people their accounts. The Financial Act give the NRA powers for go into taxpayers their account if then they in default and freeze their accounts just like they do in America and take their money. Now, when this man bring this policy, some of us took to the social media opposing, say, yes, the provision is there, but no president, including the late Dr. Ahmed Sesay Kaba, not take that route today because you go panic the economy. They not agree. Then do then begin go inside, then they send them tax. Most of the taxes na salon get issues with accuracy. Then they tax you, and then by the time they argue, say, hey, this tax is too high, then don't go to your account, don't go pull the money. So the message, I want to let people then listen, the message begin go to the public, say, wait a minute. Then they go, then get right for go, this government can go to your account and pull money, we not pay. They did that to NP. They owe NP colossal sums of money. But when the tax scam, then go inside and garnish NP, National Petroleum, their account. So then begin to investors, them, Indian, Lebanese, Fulaman, people then begin withdraw their money from the bank and keep them. You understand? But these are things where the public, some of them not go tell the public. So then policies are impacting on the economy. You understand? That is the finance. Come to the health sector. You say, when they come, they say, then they improve health facility. No get me word for that. Go to Connaught Hospital and compare Connaught where APC left where they oppose and Connaught where they now. With other hospital where don't come up and coming. The Kehama Road Hospital is a product of the APC. Then come now in no more they meet. With other active public agenda when they meet. Okay, the under 5 lactating mother project now in they meet. So let them come up with one policy where then come up with where actually now the brainchild of this regime in the health sector, and that is Spain.
I mean, okay, I think you're talking about the health sector. Because say then go say, well, they come up with one of the key flagship policies when are the free and quality education and
no, at the counter of the education, at the counter, let me just take according to the MDC, then go the same way they need for profile, you know. Okay, don't then come back on doing business. how how is doing business in a salon kind of okay. How could you say doing business in a salon is okay when all the mining companies are shut down? Not so by default because of the economy. You challenge the salon mining. You even the mining license agreement. You revoke them. You understand? They took you to court. They get to court of arbitration. They won. Then go back. They repossess all the assets. So how you tell me say it's alone SLPP they do well on doing business in Sierra Leone, and then registering companies they started on well. When this government came to power, they enacted the 2019 Mining Act, where give powers to the locals for the surface rent, where they increase the surface rent where they pay. I was very happy, and I applaud them for that. I was very happy. Now all of a sudden they don't increase the money where these local then they get per mining, and then they cut off the mining. You understand? So how you go say doing business? Now let's come to education. Education, the flagship, how, when you say free quality education, you cannot get free quality education and ABOP say there was no money. And ABOP say the contributions of the civil servants, Salon, they only employ 12% of the population, 12%. And then the workforce, the balance 88% in the private sector, they employ them. So you want ABOP say you go fund free quality education from money deducted from these people, these civil servants. You understand? Then in infrastructure, you not take me word for that. Go look at infrastructure. It was so poor. Look at the salaries of teachers. So I'm not saying the concept is bad. Now the people then they go wrong. The concept of free quality education is brilliant, wonderful, but it was poorly managed, and I not be feel say we're ready for that. And waiting at the product of free quality education, someone would want to argue, hey, we don't get the worst results since history began in Sierra Leone during the free quality education. Because why? Not just the structures. Every funding the project is failing, and then you get vigilante people enforcing the system where not they part of the educational curriculum. Then he say the youth leader now the SLPP person for go invigilate one school. We're not trained for that. Get experience on invigilating people. So they go intimidate picking them. So you ask the students when are the recipients if they are happy with free quality education. We have countless commentary from students with, register dissatisfaction on this. So how now you go say this government make progress in the main area where we the ABOP say then go make,
Okay, so basically your assessment of this current administration, nearly 3 years now, is that things are not moving in the right direction.
And I know they go to corruption because are the hope
yeah, but that's the next aspect. That's the next side I know for GOPA, because we don't see the 2018, 2019 audit reports from Audit Salon. When I say the cash loss 2018 is over 140 something billion, 2019 is over 170 something billion. We don't lately we don't see again Africanist press where Chernobyl and the editor we based in America. Don't come tell we say plenty money. They disappear. How do they pay money to the first lady office, chief minister, so many things then. So, and this particular administration, this current administration, President Biya administration, one of the other flagship policy is the fight against corruption. And if only the happens, and the fight against corruption is about one other key thing about perception. Do you think say the Sierra Leonean people they get confidence say yes, this current administration, they actually fight against corruption, or you feel say the corruption fights, they go the correct way I supposed to go?
No, I don't feel so. Listen, the first thing first, they go to motive of an individual, the intention. The two legislations where this government try for pass, for circumvent transparency. When they come, the presidential interest, they attempt to legislate, pass a law where they make the president not accountable for an interest. Now, Me not they tell you, you judge, you be the judge. How is that for transparency? And then later on, they say the act is the bill is passed. You get private member bill. You get bill where emanate from executive decision. How now a legislative instrument they go up to assent level? Then they say the president doesn't have a knowledge in that. It was acted, the minister acted in vain. You understand? I believe say that was a premeditated ploy for just circumvent transparency. And now they say we hate them. Anything way they say, listen, not just being politicians. I own a business in Sierra Leone. I have huge sums of money deducted as holding taxes on behalf of my company. So if I don't speak to you as a politician, I'll speak to you as a huge taxpayer. Okay, how now you can say the president not for pay, and then we go past that, and then they paid the SLPP solicited funds from the international community, i.e. Department of Foreign International Development, the FID, and spent $1 million on forensic auditing, just because they believe that auditing is key to financial management. They believe that. How now the local, the person, the individual that has the statutory responsibility for audits in the country, come up with an audit report, and you don't want to debate that in Parliament. You do not want to lay that document in Parliament for debate. And now you say they fight corruption. How now there is a huge allegations from Chernobyl, which is evidence-based. And then now all we ask the Speaker of Parliament, say, let's set up a committee and let us see to some of this document this guy is putting. This is a credible international journalist, investigative journalist, which some of us believe he's non-partisan, is impartial. He came up with salient suggestion, you understand, where indicts all facets of society, including the fourth estate. Does not that raise a flag where we as a nation not for sit down and question these people and then say no? So when the regime is immunized from probe, and now you say, then you want to fight corruption. Listen, I always say this. We in the APC, we're not averse, we're not opposed for fighting corruption. In fact, we even feel them where they not include we, when they not even include we for fight corruption, because we know they condone we colleagues them if they find them culpable. But if you come say they fight corruption, and then the audit reports come, una the drag on our foot for debate and a parliament, and then the audit shows huge amount anomalies. And then just after the anti-corruption commissioner who will say, now the people's commissioner, he represents the people, is impartial. When we indict the public crisis for indict the office of the presidency, i.e. the first lady, and now drag in, say, oh, we're going to investigate the previous first lady. So how if you say the people in Noble Field say that's not cover up? So they talk about corruption. They talk about how people they know they participate in governance. Salon will get for the participate, will like for talk. And now there is one volunteer, where na Dr. Chernobyl. And then he bring in documents now, say, because Section 77, Part 7, Section 77 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2008, it gives credence to whistleblowers and even guarantee protection for whistleblowers. And instead, the Anti-Corruption Commissioner and in spokesperson, they come na media. They blow up the cover of the whistleblower. I mean the whistleblower is so bold enough, keeping identity. But he gets protection under the law, the Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2008. He forget protection under that. That protection is not guaranteed. If this case is some of this evidence proved to be true, and then there is an indictment and criminal proceedings, would I, if he say go be the first prosecuting witness? It's going to be Alpha Chernobyl. If you're not able to protect an media, or not threaten an media, how you feel say go able to enforce or prosecute these people?
A very good question, a very, very good question you pose so in terms of the fight against corruption, because like what you said, most Sierra Leoneans and believe say the fight against corruption is very, very important because it intertwines with so many other things then, in terms of economy, in terms of creation of jobs, in terms of infrastructural development, all things in the fight against corruption encompasses them. And it's rather unfortunate where, like what you say now, most Sierra Leoneans not get confidence with this current administration, say yes, they're really ready for fight corruption because they're not showing a good example. But before we go further, I just want to read some few comments them where some people might not be able to read always, some of we viewers and posts. Mr. Roland Karim said he was suspended and later expelled. They are totally different terms. How can you restitute it in a situation with expulsion? I think it's time for refer to the Sam Sumanayo issue. Somebody says, Superman, you think we'll get COVID-19 in Sierra Leone considering the lawlessness within the current time? Okay, well, that's not opinion out there, but that is also the authority and tell we. So we have to go by that. SLPP never won the election in the north. All they do is rig the election. Okay, we see, okay. These are just other opinions from Elaine. He said we have to be prepared and stay united to fight for democracy and the people of Sierra Leone. This is referring to the APC people. And Raki again says, all People's Congress, we are an inclusive party. Let us work together as a unit to win 2023. And I think so most of the trend of this message is here, plenty, and I think we'll get hundreds and hundreds and not able and venture for say I will read, them all. But now, excuse me, one not read, but just few no more because we still get something for discuss. But the trend is in terms of the APC, make we unite, make the APC party unite and prepare themselves for take over governance. Most of the APC members and supporters them where they now the chat room and that they say. And all the other different questions when they pose now, somebody will talk about the Samsuman and your issue. I think you will address some in detail. So we will move forward. And one of the other key things where I want to ask is about the peace and security empowerment to the people in a saloon. And during the previous administration of former President Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, Salon began as one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. But recently in our country, there is what they call sonko, ala, confusion after confusion. We don't see the issue in Panemba Road. Recently, even in Belgium, there is so many instances. Them. What has gone wrong? What's your assessment? What did happen from one of the peaceful country to now with all this sonko?
Well, you see, to be honest, the government is over vigilant. We not deserve them. Then come to power. There's no imminent threat from the citizenry, as far as me concerned. They took up power on a very quiet Wednesday evening. All of a sudden now there is war, there is chaos. Then they accuse the APC will not allow for make we govern. APC they create chaos, and if they not stop, we'll not go stop. But APC on Thursday, Friday evening, APC gets a delegation, go meet President Bio in office. 2 days after the elections, go congratulate him, express willingness for work with him. APC no go na SLPP office or go attack you. I just want to give you the chronological order. Okay, because then they blame say the reason for the tensions, now the political party tensions, the APC no gap go demonstrate for the elections where they lost. No instance, no did. And then all of a sudden, then chase to people in Akenima and Kono until the 5th day. Now the vice president go Masimbi for go see the destitute and displaced people. Not to APC go run at themselves. No. And then come on day back. Every other issue will come when a citizen profile and anger on any area, then say no, then why na APC. Because any incident will happen at the north, even if people in the fight for their rights over something as citizens, then say na APC. But when things happen at Kailao, when things happen at Bo, people in fight and protest for other things, it is not partisan. So the government zoned the country and put heavy political police heavy-handedness na the other side for create unnecessary tensions, because we as Sierra Leoneans will be non coexist. People in the day na Bo, people in the day na Kenima, Tongo, get too many people there all over that place. We not be get issues. So how now they can say na the APC? When the APC then don't remove members of parliament, then don't do a whole lot of things we did not do to the streets and go begin a la cause policy. You understand? So these tensions, including the Panemba Road massacre, where is the inquest from the Panemba Road massacre? No, none. Then grab say the Panemba Road na political na the APC, but for God's sake, from the testimony of the SLPP operatives, there were SLPP people there midnight up to 4 a.m. in readiness for this chaos. Nobody not testify, say, oh, go there 4 o'clock, like the women's leader, we say, then go there 5 o'clock. You not tell you, say, we'll meet APC people then at the gate. No. The riots happen inside, okay? And then we'll not get no investigation. So most of these tensions are self-inflicted. You get barriers all over the city when nobody know waiting they happen. We know. So these tensions are created by the ruling party. Just for give fear, say we're a violent party, but there are no records we should say we don't want they go and go plan demonstration. We were aggrieved. They remove members of parliament. We decide to stage a meeting within the confines of our party. Then go attack the party office back. You understand? Then damage everything. You know what I'm saying? So these tensions and security is key. The Ebola been calm. We survived the Ebola because we think, say, we do an inclusiveness approach, including President Bill was part of it. We were happy. This COVID-19 came, all of a sudden, it became a target. I was in Bo 3 weeks ago. There is hardly no curfew in Bo. But when you mistake common and north, the north, police, they arrest you. There's no curfew. No curfew. You understand? So the two countries, one, you the ruler with heavy-handedness, and the other, you relax the law. How that's able to bring in good security? When coffee no dey na Bo and Kenima, coffee no dey na other side, na the southeast, but when you can na the north, strict coffee rules. Western area, strict coffee rules. So this security setup is meant to marginalize the opposition. Period. That's how I see it.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, as we wrap up now, because that is a very, very important issue, because this particular administration, they look for investors and for go. If they need some concern, because when you're a businessman, you want to invest in any country, you do your due diligence and check. And political instability is not good at all for any country. So I hope say government they get the interview there, get the advice there, and change the course, which is follow the course, but allow everybody, all the political party, men and be as opposition, men and play their own part. Democracy, all in a multi-party democracy, all the parties then they play their own part for maintain that democracy. That is very important. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, as you don't help you don't enlighten me plenty thing today. As we first for round up now, I want to ask you a question directly to yourself. You want to become the national organizing secretary for the APC party. So for the people in the APC party members who they watch you, so supporters them and sympathizers them, they go ask you the question, say, why make you feel say the party for make you the national organizing secretary?
Well, that's a good one. You see, I always say any job application are the experience. And number one. The experience where I don't get as one of the oldest operative at the party, I always say all the one the way they aspire for this position. When you take the incumbent in Alhaji Mohammed Dondondon within at the position now, we respect so much. I'm one of the oldest operative in terms of don't own position at the party, in terms of monitoring the elections, being campaign manager for the vice president campaign team, you know. And I get experience on the electioneering process. And then secondly, I also don't understudy the same way late Kaloko died, Allah bless his soul. They appoint Almami Petito Koroma, when our Ambassador Petito, as the acting National Organizing Secretary. So at that point, we were around him. I was with him, assisting him as well for make sure say we campaign 2007. In fact, I've been working with Kaloko as well, na the Diaspora, as one of the key coordinator as national organizing from the Diaspora. So that's one, that is the experience. And I don't notice in 2003, I mean, in 2023, these elections we get for CAM, the party, the level inside the party, they right now. And when you look to how politics don't evolve now, we need for a national organizing secretariat, now the number 3 position at the party, the third most important office at the party. You're the wheel and cog of the party. When you go to other countries who I don't understudy, the NDC in Ghana People's Party and other political parties, the Office of National Organizing Secretariat don't move from just managing events and rallies. You need forget means whereby you bring in the digital experience in organizing, like what you're doing right now. You get for bring a system whereby, because the National Organizing Secretary is responsible for the membership of the party, you get for harmonize a payment system whereby everybody from the comfort of your living room, you can become a member of the APC. Not to just you get for go fill form, you understand? Get a vibrant website, organize workshop, and then that is how party politics don't evolve, okay? Now, if you ask somebody, how do we register a member? APC, according to WILAT database, we had 1,163 members now with database. Imagine without digitalized your system, without able to be registered on your mobile phone as a political party member. So imagine if I can make a system whereby we get effective payment where you can subscribe with your mobile phone. Let's say half of that amount pay us $1 a month. We're looking at $6 million. So that's $6 million per annum. If we get a good transparent system, before the election year, we don't get that almost $3 million, 30 million. That will give you an okay for see possible we know say it capable for be president, but you not get the financial muscle. We go able to fund them. Possible no say it can be member of parliament, but we no again the burden of taking what he don't save now with his family for go representing people then a Kalanga. Then we go able to fund them. So with all this, the monetizing the party is one of my main goals. Bringing the party to digital is another one. And try for the party be sellable. Rebrand the APC. And I believe, say, with all my experience in managing areas, managing people, managing the national team, and a whole lot of areas, I believe, say, I'm highly positioned and experienced for transform this party.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. And on that particular note, I believe say party members and supporters them and the general APC fraternity don't get the message, because I like the way where you talk about boosting the finance of the party. Let party not depend per candidate say where you get money now, we will do. If the party get the money, the party for you will spend them for you, and we'll get the members them. It's just for organize them thoroughly, make sure say that revenue they come in, like we say so, and we hope say the party make a wise choice and the delegates make a wise choice and gets the right people in at the right place, because that is good for the APC party and that's automatically good for Sierra Leone. Because when you get an effective opposition, that effective opposition, they go always keep the government in its toes, and the government go always, they think twice before they do something, because they know say if they don't do the right thing, the likelihood for men to choke them out of power is so clear at hand. So definitely with the pray with Sierra Leoneans for make we able get development now in country, and people that can way determine for make that happen. We pray for let God guide and protect you now. And Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, we don't come now to the end of this particular interview, and we glad today we appreciate you greatly, because like we are saying, you don't enlighten me a lot. Most of the thing will be confused by with your own legal expertise. You don't can explain that to we in details. We don't understand all this electioneering process. So most of the arguments they're working in social media, most of the time, not to say we intend for argue, we can say now not understand what's they go on. So people are always suspicious. Now make it find out get people like in the midst for me go enlighten we let we know what they go on. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, you also a part of the APC UK. Am I correct?
Oh well, actually yes. I advise them occasionally. Yes,
yes. So many people in the diaspora now are disgruntled. It's not only APC supporters. Them think and say with the chaos way up in under that 71A, this to seem do a Citizenship Act business. And also some people they take and say, well, we there in the diaspora, we always they support financially. Then people they really value we. So that as well they affects the different branches them now the diaspora. So what do you advise generally to the diaspora and how the party, if you become an organizing sector for the party, what you go talk to the party, how the party go able to help and give confidence to the supporters in the diaspora?
Well, actually, that's a very key issue. Maybe feel say there why I for don't legislate, but again, it's a very key area, and I raised that up now one of a strategy meeting. If we not act fast and legislate that dual citizenship, it will get for impact back the next elections. Because why? Both the APC and SLPP, they are then both parties no one move this forward because then they can say it will affect them. Because in other words, they'll be then go and encourage with their own competition. But that blame rests squarely on us. This is one thing that we cannot go blameless in the APC. That we set we Panam and moving forward, whosoever get for come as we next flag bearer, that now one thing where you get for make a condition. Okay, if the next flag bearer not put in footstone for lead in members of parliament, they not legislate or go deny them symbol. If they not push for make them 70, then legislate the dual citizenship, they revoke them, will not go give them symbol. Because if they want let the party go before, then we'll think for the party. Because I am not saying they're not eligible for compute. I'm not going to say, but let me, and I've been saved that for my final word, what I go say. But I go wait till they get me final wrap up. I don't feel say for marginalized competition na the way forward na APC. And I start from that premise. And that I feel say I have to be very sincere with the members of parliament right now, from both sides of the aisle, that this thing they affect we as a nation. Okay, for them, my own sister, my big sister married to American. My big sister in Pekin na American and Sierra Leonean. The 2006 Act give that Malata Bobo right for become president as Salon, where some of them not even visit Salon. Then me, it not give me right because simple I carry a dual citizenship. It's not logical and it not make common sense not prevail in that. So that's one thing I want the diaspora know. But again, diaspora politics can be so tense these days. I don't want to make una look to the current litigation and stall and wait. In the midst of all this, some of us are actively campaigning countrywide. So I know although we look to that side, I want whosoever they aspire for positions, make first you look for the available jobs them where there are so many jobs where this new constitution don't create. And the good thing is, this new constitution don't pull the leader, will no longer get the leader and chairman. Now this party. We get only leader and chairman when we not get convention yet. But so now let's say Chairman Ernest Baikoma, now the leader and chairman of the party. So if we can't get a new leader, we go convention, we'll get a new leader and chairman of the party. The day what they make we elections, the convention, we don't get a flag bearer. That day, that flag bearer is now the leader of the party, not the chairman, but the leader of the party, yes, until we go to the next elections. So if the leader of party, that leader of the party, as he touched down, the next way go member now for Canada diaspora. Okay, so let the diaspora not sit down. Let all man actively look for the position where they go and make a campaign. Assuming, let's say, we appear at the 27th, and the variation order, say, let us go adopt the constitution immediately. So if in 2 weeks' time, we'll go adopt the constitution and come back, and then they say election don't begin. Then now they tell with the member for campaign. So anybody want to aspire for position at the diaspora, they encourage you now for continue for campaign in good spirits, because you're officially now a 6th region.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay. And ladies and gentlemen, one thing I want to say, tomorrow the program will get now a calling program. We will look at the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Ben Kefala. So the debate go there around Mr. Ben Kefala, and I call in program so we prepare for call and give our views and opinions in relation to what Mr. Ben Kefala they do as the Anti-Corruption Commissioner. I believe it's a very, very interesting topic. So tomorrow, please join me for that particular program. And subsequent program they may get for the cam will make una know through the social media. But do you want to subscribe now with YouTube page? Because most of the interview, this interview what we do so today, as we finish it tomorrow, I go there on YouTube page. So if I want to see them back, you can go there and watch them. A very, very interesting interview, moreover for APC party members. But Kuboku, team them where people not be know, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay don't can clarify them for winner now, and we appreciate them greatly. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, for wrap up, like what you say no more. I mean, this interview has been an eye opener. I mean, for me, so I believe say most of we viewers themselves don't learn plenty things the way you don't come enlighten people. So for wrap up, I want you to tell me what's in APC they own in terms of preparedness for the 2023 presidential elections, and also in terms of how they see this proposal where government say local council, then they pull them from politics and make it like non-political. I want to put all together and with a wrap-up message for we conclude by this interview. Thank you, sir.
Well, first of all, in terms of putting the cap on the requirements for contest for as a councillor, that is alone in its sense that disenfranchisement. I believe so. Now, for council, somebody forgets educational requirements, he offends a certain section of the Constitution, where say Section 35 of the Sierra Leone 1991 Constitution will give you the right to vote and to be voted for, and give you the criteria as you have to read and write with some degree of proficiency. That is all the requirements to be voted for. Okay, now how now you can say you forget at least a diploma? And then secondly, if you say now a non-partisan, who now decides who are eligible for symbol? And how can a political party, a ruling party, do that impartially? You understand? So it is a dangerous law, but this one is going to say, really the intended consequence now, winner takes all, because SLPP will not grow old in this seat. One day, then we'll just come out there. When APC come back, local council come, now then say get for cry, the same podium who they say no for B, now they then self get for B, say no for B. So that alone, as far as the city council, the local government act is concerned, I feel say we get for stand firm and discourage and totally. Now, in terms of the readiness of the APC, in terms of the Flagbearer, I always say the APC has now, I always say the 2020 elections is ours to lose. But the readiness for now, the realistic, and I have to say this without fear, are we ready right now to win 2023? We're not. That don't mean we're going to lose. Like I say, the elections is ours to lose, but we are not. As a party, in 2018, we say now President Anes Kuruma na ingewi problem because they select. But would they make President Kuruma select? Now the 28 aspirants them. I wonder when the 28 aspirants and they select President Kuruma select. Now President Kuruma don't come off from the fold. These same 28 aspirants them back don't come. Now all waiting then they do now for bring, they know nobody, they know they try for come together and unify this party. The party don't inundated with so many camps and abuse and posting the cost, this imposing, this posting the cost, this imposing, and we know they see the aspirants, then they come out openly and condemning these the minions and agents, say, God damn, do not cause for me. I always say when other aspirants them we ideally waiting maybe they expect now that then go get a meeting, then all the former aspirants and then come together and say, how do we stop this rhetoric, this bad energy coming from our men?
Okay, on that point, Ahmed Sesay, I just want to interject now, say, because most of the aspirants and they will not interview now, we don't interview Lawyer Abubakar Kaloko, we don't interview Dr. Samuel Kamara, we don't interview Honorable Kemo Sesay, we don't interview Dr. Almami Petito, we don't interview quite a few of them now. But the message when they talk, so in they all listen, they all say, may they all come together, may everybody be peaceful, may they all contribute to. I think somebody just need to facilitate because they all get the same message. Because we don't interview them, we don't talk to them. Now, Yasu, on this particular platform. So they all get the same message. So I think that maybe people like Una will come in and as APC, key APC stakeholders, them, Una will spread this message among them and among the supporters and the APC party. Because this is a message. What would they interview the Nayaso? Like what I said, we don't interview quite a few Nayaso, where the same message and say they deliver. Say, no, this stuff will all come together. Let we all, Dr. Richard Conte, all don't interview them now. So that the same message. And I want also tell you, say somebody then on the name by the name of Sinaya Conte, where say Ahmed Sesay is a peaceful guy. He will pass that message to you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, yes, all man go talk but would I go take the bold step, say, okay, we don't really say then get big six. Big six comprise of other candidates, but Samuel Kamara. Okay, so that alone don't breed animosity. Say why Samuel Kamara is not part of the big six. Okay, so now tell me, why
should the big six exist?
Well, that is another question. It begs the question: why should the big six exist? Why they want to make a camp? Why they want to form a conclave? So all these not the help for let the party come together. Because why? I know they oppose the big six. I know they say they're not going to form, but why not big everything together? You understand? That is my take. Okay, because why? 50.1% in the Constitution say 50 plus 1. Now, every candidate for poll. And I go tell you with authority, there's no candidate within the APC now where go tell me, say, when they put box, it go get more than 50% of the votes. You understand? No candidate. So that tells you that the need for men and work together is paramount, you know. But to be honest, this party need forget a new phase. But one thing we may assure everybody in say, with the reformers, everybody in the APC right now wants for everybody knows say, so God and this say, let you put on, you go up candle, they're going to vote. They want let everybody know say, if you then at the system right now, you feel say you go use your system, the APC system, for let work now you favor and rig the system, it is not going to happen. If you
then I just want to interject quickly. You say this party need a new face, but it look like all the faces of the scene are the same old face then.
No, when I'm saying a new face, a new setup, it could be the old face. Listen, when they say democracy, I don't care if the old face then come back, as long as people then vote for them. And most of them will come back. That's the reality. When I talk to one of the grievances, the aggrieved party, I tell her, I say, brah, I tell you, you say no want an escroma today. Fine. I say, but this an escroma, we no want to. I say, if an escroma come out, he resign, or the court say let come out. If an escroma say he contest back, we can't stop him because Section 35 of the Constitution get the guarantee back for let he participate. I say, and if the voter in back, they can't say back. So all this litigation, if now you objective now for put President Kuma, he gets a way back for kind side back legitimately. So, but if people then come back this new phase, all I'm saying new phases, I am saying the Constitution has made provisions for new phases for coming. The head of the diaspora regional, diaspora now, every region get diaspora, even within the UK, all the precincts, the constituency, them, the Manchester branch forget a diaspora coordinator, the Bristol, the Western. So it brings in new phases, and that is my idea when I say new phases, because waiting, the more the merrier.
Understood. Okay. Okay, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, thank you very much for your brilliant submission and tonight. And once say thanks very much to everybody as well. One thing we believe is that former President Barack Obama, I think he was the 44th president of the United States. He said, election get consequence. He said, nothing up, say, me no one mix for politics. Because when you go to market, you go buy that one cup press. Oh, this cup there, oh, this guy's done there. That is politics. Yes. So everything about life is encompassed with politics. So now not make sure, say, we Sierra Leoneans them use a wise decision, get the right people at the right place. Or if not to that, again for come back to back. So we all get for make sure so we participate where politics come and choose the right people. This even at the party level. Say go to the national level, it is very, very important. And democracy don't clean a saloon. Nobody knows we put democracy in a saloon. Democracy will drive man. The people don't go through a lot for the democracy can a saloon. So nobody knows we most democracy in a saloon. And now we don't get even more platform there for make sure so we promote democracy. And we will continue to do that. Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, it's been a pleasure. You've been a brilliant guest, and I believe say the guests and the viewers are very grateful to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for having me. And thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much. And family, they say net long tete dogo must clean. Well, however, thing good tete must come to an end. All good things come to an end. So it look like say, although we don't enjoy Lawyer Ahmed Sesay in company, I'm so grateful greatly today. But this unfortunately at the end of the program tonight. We will not forget tomorrow. We get a calling program, and that calling program is there around the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Bekefala. So please, do not tune in. And again, we will not forget for subscribe to our YouTube page. All the interview them. We don't do Dr. Samuel Kamara, Dr. Richard Conte, Dr. Nami Petito, Lawyer Abubakar Kaloko, Honorable Kemo Sesay. They all did it. Then even Chief Alaji Tonkla, another Flagbearer aspirant as well. Let's not forget, I mean, they all did it. They all the interview they did it. And I know some people like you say the candidate in Boku, but this is democracy. It no matter if not 100 candidates, once they put ballot box, then vote for all man, the person get the highest vote, win. Now that thing called democracy. No go say, oh no, you know for start, you know for start. No, it's not democracy. No, let democracy play out. Like where the landed lawyer say, he say make this trip, all man go vote. Would that win? Now in win. All man can round up, congratulate them, who all move forward. I believe that the best way that's for the APC party, for whichever party, ADP, PDP, whatever. And again, one say, we not forget Mohamed Kamari Masise, when are the leader of the ADP party. Now, once a frequent participant at this platform, we hope say it will get justice. We not condone any of that crime, but if the man supposed to get justice, he's supposed to get bail, then forget bail, because the law that stipulates our country, we need to follow them. So, ladies and gentlemen, Lawyer Ahmed Sesay, thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.